Welcome back. My name is Cindy, and on this channel, I like to talk about all things relationships, romantic and parental. I usually drop a new video every Monday, so be sure to tune in on Mondays for my relationship tips. But in this video, I will be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 15. So be sure to like this video, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Okay, so it is the couples retreat episode. The couples are 9 days away from decision day. The retreat is about 5 hours away in Hilton Head. And I'm going to break down the interactions as a group and then do a summary of the couples individually. In the beginning of the episode, we see that Haley has returned the bracelet to Jake, and all the couples are packing and getting ready together for the retreat. Jacob and Haley travel separately. Eric and Virginia, they were together during the ride. They were going back and forth. Eric said something about how he doesn't think that there will be any drama. Virginia said that they would probably kill each other, and Eric was a bit offended. And he was saying how he doesn't appreciate something that she does to make him look bad on camera. I didn't catch what it was, but he was getting annoyed with her. I don't think they showed Brianna and Vincent's ride up, and Clara and Ryan arrived the next day. Jacob was the first to arrive. As he was waiting for everyone, he was hungry, so he decided to make himself 8 eggs. I don't know how Jacob eats all of these eggs. So when Haley walked in the door, because she was the second one to get there, she was annoyed with him because she said, "Didn't we agree we were going to make dinner for everyone?" They were going back and forth, so Haley made the dinner alone. Jacob was in his room. Then once everyone arrived, they sat down to have dinner together. Vincent mentioned that he had gained 18 pounds. Virginia asked the group, what is it that they have learned during this process? And while Jacob was trying to answer the question, Haley interrupted him. She was kind of showing her ass, trying to make Jacob look bad. Jacob said that he felt like the process was one long bad first date. Haley said that it was 95% challenging. Jacob said 97. So they were kind of going back and forth, making it really uncomfortable for the rest of the couples at the table. Then Brianna said that she learned patience and understanding. I don't remember what Vincent said, but Eric said that he has had to be very patient with Virginia, and she gave him a look and he was like, what, you know? He brings up their upbringing and saying how they're basically not on the same page. Virginia said that she has learned that the saying, you can love someone but not like them all the time, she now understands what that means. After dinner, they play a game about who knows their spouse best, and surprisingly, Jacob and Haley won the game. Each couple went on an adventurous date. Jacob and Haley went on a boat and caught some crabs. Brianna and Vincent went horseback riding. Eric and Virginia, they actually just had a picnic on the beach. And Ryan and Clara went paddle boarding. On to summarize the couples individually. Jacob and Haley, they were kind of going back and forth when they first got there. But they went on the boat and they seemed to be getting along during the time that they were catching the crabs. After their date, they were given the task to write a positive letter about each other, and they were actually able to say some positive things about each other, and they had a positive. As for Vincent and Brianna, they were having a challenging time with the horseback. Vincent was scared shitless and he didn't really want to do the activity, but the instructor was able to actually talk him into trying it. He did participate, but he didn't like it. Bree had picked this activity without telling him, and he told her that he would have preferred ATV, and he also let her know not to come up with any other wild things like jumping out of a plane, swimming with sharks, bungee jumping. Like, he's not down for all that. Basically told her to fall back on any crazy activities. Bree feels like he needs to step out of his comfort zone. She was saying that if he doesn't try anything new, then he won't grow. As for Eric and Virginia, they were kind of going back and forth. During their picnic, they were having a conversation, And Virginia asked Eric what would he say on decision day, and he was like, well, why would I tell you now? I'll just wait for decision day. She was expressing to him that she does feel like she wants to run sometimes, and Eric expressed to Virginia that he feels she acts like she doesn't care about him. They both express how they feel the same. There are times where they feel one way and they feel like the other person doesn't feel the same way. They are both anxious about decision day. We do see Virginia is not that flexible because they have a conversation about her cat, which I will talk about a little later. As for Ryan and Clara, she thinks that he's dedicated to the marriage. They went on the paddle boat. Ryan was complaining about how he's an old man, and Clara said something about how she is not good on her knees, but I was thinking, girl, you said that you get him off every night, so are you not on your knees at night? Clara mentions how she feels like they probably would have developed a friendship outside of meeting on the show, but she doesn't know that they would get past a friendship. They had the exercise to write a love letter to each other. Ryan's letter was basically a thank you letter to Clara. He didn't really express any feelings or emotions. Clara was pretty deep with her letter, and she mentioned in her letter that she feels safe with him and that he holds her when she's crying, but we don't get to see that on camera. I mean, every time she gets emotional, he just gives her this blank stare. They had a couple of segments where the girls got together and the guys got together. Clara brought up something about how she feels that people keep asking her if she's losing herself. And she was explaining that they have done things differently and taken things slower, and she's okay with that. Virginia talks about how Eric has a standard for marriage, and she talks about how they're both stubborn, and she says that she loves him, but sometimes she wants to punch him in the face. She also mentioned that Eric does a lot of physical touch, and she wants him to leave her alone a lot of the time. Haley mentioned that every time her and Jake take 2 steps forward, they take 6 steps back. Girl, bye. The couple sit together to have a dinner the last night, and Ryan brings post-decision day thoughts and moving in together. Vincent says he's going to return to his apartment, and Bree is unsure about moving in with him. Virginia says that she is going back to her apartment and that her lease is up in January. Eric starts to explain how he doesn't like that idea. He feels like it's going to be a regression for them. And so she was like, well, you have 4 months to basically sell your place and find us another place. She was being real snippy at the dinner. Vincent asked, you know, what would happen if they didn't find a house in that 4 months? She was like, well, that's a great question. Jacob had suggested that they make part of the house cat friendly, and Eric mentioned that he had a guest room, and Virginia was like, well, I'm not locking my cats up in a room. Afterwards, they have a talk, and Virginia was saying how her cats sleep in the bed with her, and Eric was saying, you know, I'm allergic to the cats, so how are we going to compromise on that? And she was adamant about the cats sleeping with her, and I just don't understand. Virginia can seem very stubborn and selfish. I mean, if your husband is allergic to the cats, why would you have the cats in the bed with you? I don't understand how people sleep with pets in their bed anyway, but she was adamant about having the cats sleep with her. She said that they sleep on top of her and that he doesn't need to worry. And she sounded really ridiculous because they're going to be in the bed together. So if the cats are in the bed, they're like, he's going to be in the bed too. And he was saying to her, you know, if the shoe was on the other foot, he would make accommodations so she wouldn't be feeling miserable at night. And she was like, why do you have to say you'll be feeling miserable? You'll be fine. Just take some allergy medication. And I thought, you know, she was being really unreasonable. And she was saying how she has slept with the cats for 5 years. And I'm like, girl, you haven't slept with the cats in the last 7 weeks. The cats will be just fine. Comment below and let me know what your thoughts are about Virginia wanting to keep the cats in the bed with her. Do you think that she's being selfish? Is Eric being unreasonable? I think she's being selfish and ridiculous. In the morning that they're leaving, Jake decides he's going to take off and not say anything to anybody. And then Haley tries to act like she cares that he left without saying anything. She started saying how she felt like they were making progress. But I'm like, stop being delusional. You guys in every episode and never make any real progress. So Jake isn't here for it. I'm really ready for this season to be over. I can't wait for decision day. Join me here next week. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.